Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Breaking Barriers in Property Management. I'm your host, Sheila Greene, CEO, mentor, and someone who has learned confidence isn't something that you're born with. It's something that you build brick by brick over time through mistakes, bold moves, and small wins that add up. Today's episode is all about that. Building confidence in leadership, especially when you're working in a high pressure, fast-paced industry like property management. If you've ever felt like you weren't ready to lead, or like maybe someone made a mistake by putting you in charge, this episode is for you. We're going to talk about why confidence matters more than perfection, how to build it through small, repeatable habits, what imposter syndrome really sounds like, and how can we support each other along the way. So let's get into it. Why confidence isn't perfection? Well, here's the truth. No one follows perfect. They follow present, they follow real, and they follow confident. So when you're in a leadership role, whether you're managing a small team, running a region, or just starting out, confidence is what gives people trust in you. Not because you know everything, but because you show up with clarity, energy, and direction. I've seen this firsthand. I've worked with incredibly talented people, team members who knew the policies and procedures better than anyone, but struggled to lead because they second-guessed themselves constantly. And on the flip side, I've seen newer leaders walk in with less experience but more self-trust, and their teams naturally followed them because they believed their voice mattered. Confidence doesn't mean cocky. Confidence is calm. Confidence is, I may not know it all, but I know I can figure it out, and I've got your back. So let me tell you about a moment where confidence and not perfection changed everything. There was a time that I had to walk into a meeting with owners and investors and bankers to present why we were behind on a budget and what I planned to do about it. I didn't have every answer, but I had clarity, I had data, and I had the confidence to lead the conversation. One thing I didn't say was I found out that I had to do this presentation 5 minutes before the presentation was supposed to happen. So I guarantee you I did not have all the answers, but I did pull together everything I possibly could in that 5 minutes. Because I knew, even if I didn't know everything, I cared deeply. I had a plan, and I wasn't going to hide behind fear. And you know what? The room listened, not because I was flawless, but because I was honest, prepared, and grounded. Confidence earned the respect, not the perfection. In fact, after the meeting was over, one of the owners of the property called me and said, "You nailed that." He was like, "You were not even invited to this call." He said, "Did you even know you were supposed to present?" And I told him, "No, actually, I found out about it about 5 minutes before the call." And he was just absolutely floored. But that's because I had confidence in my ability to talk to investors and owners, and I had the facts. Even though I didn't have time to prepare, I did have information, and I had enough confidence in myself to be able to present that information in a way that made everyone feel like, oh, she does know what she's talking about. And they were able to trust me because I did have the confidence to lead that meeting. So what are some habits that build leadership confidence? One, you start with small wins. Don't wait for a massive promotion to start acting like a leader. You start today. Set a clear goal for your day. Hit it. Celebrate it, and that's a leadership win. An example, leading your morning team huddle with purpose. I used to do this as a manager every single morning for my leasing team. I would be like, all right, come on everybody, let's go in the back room. We're gonna have a back room rally. We're gonna get 5 leases today. Okay, so are y'all all excited about this? And so I became their cheerleader. And because I was enthusiastic about it, because I told them I believed in them, because I celebrated their successes, even if they only got 1 lease, I celebrated it with them. That showed them that I was confident in their ability. I was confident that we were going to get our property leased. And it was easier and more natural for me to lead that team. Number 2, speak up once per meeting. You don't have to dominate a room, but set a goal. I speak once in every meeting I attend this week. The more you use your voice, the more natural it becomes. That is so true, and it is scary to speak up, but the more you do it, the easier it is. I can remember sitting back and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to say something and it's probably going to sound completely stupid. And I would doubt myself. I would get in my head and then I wouldn't speak up. When in reality, the things that I had to say were very pertinent to the conversation and would have made me look like, oh, Sheila's a serious leader. And I would have gotten more recognition from my peers as being a leader in that company. The third thing is, volunteer for stretch assignments. Ask to lead a project. Step in when someone's out, even if it scares you. Growth rarely comes from what's comfortable. I say this all the time at my company. You don't become confident and then take the leap. You take the leap and the confidence follows you. You grow when you step outside your comfort zone. And that is very scary. So you need to believe in yourself and you cannot self-doubt, and you have to be able to take that first step. So the more you do something, the more comfortable you will be, the more that you're going to be able to step out of that comfort zone. And that is how you grow within your career and your industry. That leads us into what imposter syndrome really feels like. We've all been there. Lord knows I have been there a lot in my life. So what does it sound like? Well, here's what it sounds like in your head. Who am I to lead this team? I only got this promotion because someone else left. They're going to figure out that I don't really know what I'm doing. If you've ever had thoughts like that, you're not broken, you're human. Imposter syndrome happens most often when we're stepping into growth because your identity hasn't caught up yet with your next level. The good news, you don't have to wait for it to go away to lead. You just have to name it and keep going anyway. I feel unqualified and I'm still showing up. That's the beginning of confidence. I went from being a regional manager to being a corporate trainer for a third-party vendor to becoming the vice president of operations for a startup property management company. Talk about imposter syndrome. I used to doubt myself all the time. But as I continued to do the position and built rapport with owners and investors and the employees, I became more comfortable in my role and I really started to grow. This leads us to lifting others builds your confidence too. And here's a powerful truth. Confidence multiplies when you share it. When you recognize someone else's strengths, when you tell a younger team member, you're doing a great job, I see you stepping up. When you say, you got this, and you reinforce it in yourself too, this isn't about being competitive. It's about being collaborative. And one of the reasons that I even have the confidence to do this podcast is we did a mentorship group where I put myself out there to my employees and asked them if there was something that I could help them with. And they came back and said, we're struggling with time management. And so we started a 4-week course on time management that turned into 8 weeks. And watching them grow gave me more confidence to put myself out there, and actually was the inspiration for me starting this podcast. So here's what I want you to do. DM me or tag me this week and tell me one bold move you made, big or small. Did you speak up in a meeting, volunteer for a project, set a boundary, encourage someone else? Whatever it is, I want to celebrate it with you because every bold move builds confidence. And that's what this space is all about. So to recap today's leadership truths, confidence matters more than perfection. You can build it through small daily habits. You're not alone in your imposter thoughts, and lifting others lifts you too. Thanks for spending time with me today. If this episode helped you, share it with someone else who's ready to grow. And don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never miss out on an episode. Until next time, keep leading, keep thriving, and keep breaking barriers.